Good evening and welcome to the Bells and Whistles Sports Show live on Riverside Radio. I'm your host for the evening, Jermaine. Alongside me in the studio, we've got super flyweight boxer, GB boxer, Laura Payne. Thank you for joining me.
No problem at all, it's good to be on.
Thank you very much. And we've got Daryl Welch, owner of Dirty South Boxing Gear. Thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah, pleasure to be on here, mate.
Thank you. First, so I'm going to start off with you, Laura.
Yeah.
So, super flyweight boxing, is that the sort of division you want to start off at first and then make your way up?
To be honest, I'm very good with weight. So with me, we're going to take like a few fights, a few different weights. I think I can get down to 48 and up to 54. So anything around that, I'm just going to take the fights. Yeah, I can box at any weight. To be honest with you, I'm strong, but I can cut weight as well. So wherever the fights are is where we'll be.
Brilliant. So, GB boxer.
Yeah.
How was that actually boxing with the GB squad?
It was amazing, really good experience. Yeah, it was unbelievable. So you went up there, was up there for near enough a week, come back, have a few days with family, then you back up there again. With me, it taught me what I needed to do. It taught me what I need to do to be able to be where I want to be. I was injured a lot up there though, that was the problem. But I've got the vision of how much I have to train, how important recovery is, everything like that. So yeah, I learned a lot up there, good sparring, it was really good, made a lot of connections up there. But obviously then with the injuries, I came away from it, did a few more fights with John, then after that just decided to turn pro.
Brilliant. So before we go on about your pro, going to pro, basically what I want to ask as well is who was your boxing inspiration? Who got you into boxing?
Nicola Adams winning the Olympics, that was what gave me a big vision. Obviously Katie Taylor as well, she's a massive inspiration, but with me it's all the boxers really. Tyson Fury, he's my favourite boxer. I like Tyson Fury, I like his story behind him. But yeah, so I just grew up watching it. You know, like my family used to love watching it, so I just grew up watching it, and yeah, I got the bug for it really.
Brilliant. So your amateur record, how's that at the moment?
Do you know what? I don't even know the exact number. Last season I had 8 and won 6. So yeah, I don't know about before then. I don't know the exact number on my card. But yeah, I got most of my experience really from kickboxing. I kickboxed for about 5 years before that. Before I did the white collar scene as well. So I had 4 or 5 fights with the white collar scene. Did the kickboxing, and it all just sort of blended into one. And then so I've got experience with a bit of everything really. You know, I've been on GB, done kickboxing, done boxing, so yeah, it all pays off.
So what's the difference between kickboxing for you and boxing, and what made you cross over from different sports?
I was born with dislocated hips, so when I was kicking, I couldn't kick at all. So I was just running and using my hands. Then they said you have to do a minimum of 8 kicks, and I couldn't do 8 kicks. I was winning big tournaments, I was doing really well with it, but I was punching the whole way through. I was letting them kick, let them tire themselves out, and then I'll just come over it on top of all of my hands, and then that was it. I was doing really well with it, but then they said 8 kicks, and I couldn't even kick something like 3 times, let alone 8. So, you know what I mean? They said 8 kicks, and I was like, right, I need to go to boxing now. Now's my time. So yeah, then I went into the white collar thing.
Yeah. So how was the white collar boxing for you?
It was good. Yeah. It was good, but I didn't even know it was white collar. I was doing the kickboxing, and then I was a little bit, I don't know, I didn't know what people were going to say with me going into boxing compared to kickboxing, so I just googled boxing clubs near me, and there was one not far at all, 10 minutes down the road, and I just went there. I just walked in, I didn't even arrange a session, just walked in there. There was all these big men, and I thought, alright, here we go. To be honest, I loved it. I walked in, I was like, hi! And then, and then that was it. I said, look, I want to fight, and he was like, okay. I was like, can I spar? And he was like, you need a gum shoe. And I was like, I've got one of them, I've done kickboxing. And there was midway through a session, I just put my gum shoe in, and I was like, look, I want to see whether I can do this or not. So just put me in the ring, let me try and do it, not kick. And I loved it. And we went from there.
So you're pro at the moment. So
Yeah.
do you know when you'll be fighting next? Obviously we had a little chat off there.
Yeah.
To get out next.
4th of November. So that's in the Czech Republic. It was going to be in Poland. Everyone still thinks it's in Poland, but it's in Czech Republic.
That's brilliant. So 4th of October you'll be fighting. 4th of November you'll be fighting in Czech Republic.
And then after that, it looks like there's gonna be a show in March in Africa.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Very exciting times. Very
exciting. I'll go anywhere. Yeah.
She'll fight anyone, mate.
Exactly.
She's ready.
That's
She's ready
it.
for anyone.
I'm more
Don't
than
worry
ready.
about that.
I'm ready. I just want to get in the ring.
Well,
Team
I can't wait to see-
Drty,
we can't wait.
Team Drty.
We can't wait to see these fights. So we're going to move on to Daryl. We're talking about Dirty South.
Go on, mate.
Daryl, I want to know how this brand was first established. When was it first established?
Well, obviously, I didn't meet you, did I? You met Danny, who I used to work with
Yeah.
before. So, obviously, we started as a sportswear brand. Obviously, you've done some modelling for us. Thanks for that.
Thank you very
Amazing,
much.
by the way. And, yeah, so we started by that. Obviously, started getting good feedback. And then, obviously, because of our passion for boxing, both of ours, obviously, we was always going to probably go down that route anyway. And that was obviously the start that we done. So then we just literally started doing a few bits of boxing stuff, see if people liked what we was doing, and obviously the feedback we got back was amazing. And then obviously now we're like one of the fastest ground brands in the UK. I mean, the stuff that we're producing, you see yourself, do you know what I mean? So yeah, and obviously it's a big passion for me now. It's like, so if you've got a passion and something as a work and something you enjoy doing, it's like you wake up in the morning, you're buzzing, do you know what I mean? I'm creating new stuff, people enjoying what I'm doing. And yeah, I mean, I love it, mate. Like I said, I go out, I meet new people. Like I said, I've got all the boxers that I sponsor, that I go watch the shows, and that's yeah, mate. It's like if you can bring both like together, then I think you're onto a winner.
Brilliant, brilliant. Obviously, you mentioned you've got a few boxes. You want to name drop any?
Yeah, so obviously I'll sponsor a couple of new ones, I like to say. Billy Underwood, Sharif Musa, obviously Laura, who we got in now, Mikey McKinson, who's fighting next week. He's a title holder, another good kid from Portsmouth. We've got Chris Jenkins, who's British and Commonwealth champ. He's waiting at the minute. Obviously, talk about the Conor Ben fight, but we still don't know at the minute. We've had a chat off air there. We don't know. We've heard some other things, but for the conversations I've had with Chris, the only fight for him is the Conor Ben fight. He wants that. Do you know what I mean? That's what he's saying. I've spoke to obviously Alfie Warren and that as well. They said Chris wants to fight, so I don't know why that fight's not being made as him as the title holder, but there's a lot of politics in boxing, as you know. And then obviously Archie Sharp, who obviously got the Frampton and Jamal Herring fight now. Yeah, so once that's obviously done and dusted, then obviously paves the way for Archie to go in there and do the business.
Talking about Archie, do you believe he can go on and be world champion and win the fight?
Yeah, I definitely believe Archie can go all the way, because the reason I say that, I mean, he's won more national titles than Dennis McCann. People seem to forget that. Like, his amateur background was very good as well. I mean, now he's gone with a new trainer, Al Smith, who trained Dennis McCann, who's a brilliant trainer. I mean, Richard Sawyer's a brilliant trainer as well. Nothing away from Richard, but obviously they said they had got to a bit of a stalemate. Perhaps they doing some similar training things that they've had to work on, and perhaps he just said he felt a bit flat. I mean, he still come through his last fight, which shows character, and obviously he got him through it. And then obviously, yeah, I think the next time we see Archie, he'll be a different fighter. I mean, he trains hard. He's such a dedicated fighter. I see him in the gym, and you can't take nothing away from him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I watched his last fight. For me, that wasn't a real Archie shot.
Yeah.
Watching that first, compared to some of the fights he's had previously. But I believe obviously he's changed trainers now, and I believe we're going to see a different Archie shot.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does get the winner of Jamal Herring and Frampton. Hopefully it will be Frampton. Frampton brings the titles back to the UK, and we're going to get a great
have a big showdown. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I mean, I think Frampton probably will beat Herring. I think he's a lot older now. I think he's got a bit more experience, Frampton. I mean, he's a two-weight champion already, isn't he? He's been there, seen it, done it. He looked quite impressive for me in the last outing that he fought, wasn't it? On the last Frank Warren show, where Archie fought on as well. So, yeah, it's exciting. There's so many good fights looking forward to in there. So boxing's booming at the minute. It's just a good industry to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So Laura, I'm going to go back to you. Obviously, you just mentioned about boxing's booming. The women's game of boxing is booming at the moment.
It's crazy,
You got obviously Chantal Cameron winning a world title last week.
Yeah,
obviously, you got the Terry Harper Jonas fight was pretty much the main event a couple of weeks ago.
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor fighting as well, the main event as well. You've got so many great fighters coming through. Shannon Courtney, and you've obviously coming up. You've got Rachel Ball fighting for a world title as well.
Yeah.
How big for you is it to be involved in terms of like at this present?
Do you know what? Crazy. It's crazy. Like, this is the best time now, and to turn pro with all this going on, like, now is the best time to be involved, in my opinion, in women's boxing. And I'm glad to be a part of it, but I'm looking to make a statement in women's boxing as well. And like, I want to be up there I want to be one of the mentioned names, and I'll train as hard as I have to until I get there. So it's good to be a part of it, 100%. But yeah, I think it's going to get better and better, to be honest. And then like the generation below us as well that are going to step up as well. It's going to be booming for them. Like it's turned the corner, I think. And look, gets more recognised now. It's headlining shows, things like that before it never would.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think women's boxing as well. I think it's booming at the minute. I said when we talk about fights now, I mean a lot of the fights you talk about, like Chantel the other day, brilliant fight. She's won a world title, brought that home, and women's boxing. Women's boxing in general at the minute, I think just booming. It's just exciting, like you said. I mean, you can have a woman headlining a boxing show now, and they're putting on shows, like I said, as good as the men's. And me as a fight fan, I mean, friends of mine I speak to, they're all excited to watch women's boxing the same as men's. I mean, it's not like a male-dominant sport no more. That's what I'm saying. It's like exciting for me to sponsor Laura. She's like my main thing at the minute. Like I'm like want to help push her. Do you know what I mean? She's a young girl. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, she's been part of Team GB. She's got a good trainer in John Edwards. He's a lovely man. He's going to push her all the way. And I see her, like I said, she's so dedicated. She's trained so hard. She's such a lovely girl. Do you know what I mean? And she will go far. I see her train. Like I said, she's going to make some proper waves in the women's boxing, and it's exciting times.
Yeah,
but it will. Yeah, no, it's what I've always wanted to do. I always knew I was going to turn pro, but we just didn't know when. We didn't know whether we was going to do another season, but obviously John, I trust him with everything. He's literally like a second dad to me, John Edwards. So him managing me, like, we'll get there 100%. It's a very good time. But I think the girls are just as good as the men.
Yeah.
You know, like it used to be seen as a male-dominated sport, but now, like the female fights, they're like rough.
Great fights.
You know, they're 50-50.
They're going at it. They're going at it. Like I said,
100%.
how many we talking about the fights outside? Like how many of the fights were neutral? We can't pick a winner out because they're going at it for 12 rounds. It ain't like before. I mean, like I said, they're training a lot harder. They have all the same strength and conditioning. I mean, yeah, it's everything. They said it's a 50-50 sport now. So many people, like I said, who are tuning just to watch the women's boxing. And like I said, Katie, Chantel, these people have paved the way now for obviously young fighters like Laura to come through, which she will do. And like I said, it's exciting times for women's boxing, and I'll take them out. I've told them because the training and dedication that goes into it is a lot that they have to do, sacrifices they have to make as a professional athlete, and fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? They're doing a good job.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm glad this is on record. Speaking so highly here.
You know I've got your back, girl. You know I've got your back.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, you're seeing like knockdowns that you never thought you'd see, like in the female boxing. You know, like it's you hear of a fight that's been made and you literally don't know, but you think to yourself, who's you betting on? Do you know what I mean? Like,
so that's the thing, isn't it? We're talking out there like so many fights that you'd normally be predicting, like not even just heavyweight boxing. You just can't. You think like there's so many 50-50 fights out there, and this is the exciting thing with boxing now because there's so many like domestic dust-ups. You know what I mean? That they're so similar in obviously caliber and all that, and that's what people want to watch. Like they want to watch. They don't want to watch someone that's going to go in and dominate someone. Obviously, when someone's coming through, they have to be pushed through, obviously, as a learning stage in their career. But it has to get to a point when both of them there, like Dubois and Joyce now, look, make the fight happen.
Yeah.
Whoever wins goes on the bigger and better things. The other one's got to dust themselves off and come back and start again. But this is boxing. There always has to be a winner and a loser. Who wants it more?
Yeah, exactly. It comes down to heart. But I think that it's going to make the men step up as well. Because the men are seeing all the women's boxing 50-50, and then, you know, then the men are like, right, we've got to step up now and box somebody who is a 50-50 fight. Because it's getting so exciting. Yeah. Like all round boxing, so exciting. But it does come down to like you said, Daryl, who wants it more? Yeah. Who's got a bigger heart in there? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to give up?
I think, like I said, that's the way I see her training and all that. It's like the hours that you put in. Like I said, if someone's training for a fight like that, you've got to go that extra mile. You've got to want it that bit extra more. And like sometimes you see that in the fight when someone has to dig down and bite on their gumshoe and they get to that point in the fight, and you're like, oh, and then you see who wants it more. Do you know what I mean? And that's when like the heart really has to like that's when you have to dig deep down in your soul, man, and like ask yourself, do you really want this? You
Why
know
am
what
I doing this?
Yeah.
A fight what I want to speak about is coming up as well. It's going to be on a Yusef Chisora card. Is Amy Timlin versus Skelly.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight going? And you looking forward to watching that fight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. I know Amy Timlin well, to be honest with you. I know her really well. Backing Amy 100%. She's a really nice girl, Amy. She's a good boxer. She gives everything into this, and she deserves to go. Do you know what I mean? To the top. It's simple as that. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight. And then obviously, I think she wants the Courtney fight as well.
Yeah,
We keep seeing
that'd be great,
things like that. So, but yeah, no, I think it's her time to shine. You know, she's got an opportunity. All you need sometimes is an opportunity to show what you're capable of. I know that girl's capable of. Like, I've sparred her on the GB squad. She's a good girl. So, go on, Amy.
Yeah, that's good to hear. How much of a motivation is that giving you to obviously one day be on a big card like that and matchroom card, something like that? How big of inspiration has that been for you?
Yeah, loads of motivation, 100%. But you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't think you can get onto those sort of cards. You know, anybody that puts on a pair of gloves, they've got to want to get to the top, because if you don't want to get to the top enough, you're never going to get anywhere, because you've really got to sacrifice everything.
It's
You know
not a
what I mean?
sport that you want to get into. Like, you're not going to
No.
earn money in this sport. You have to love it. And I mean,
You've got
you've
to
got to
love it.
dedicate your life to it to go to the top and get there. I mean, it ain't a sport where you're going to get and have a couple of fights and earn good money, because you don't starting off. Do you know what I mean? It's a stepping stone, the same as any sort of industry. Do you know
Exactly
what I mean?
that. You've got to want it, and you've got to believe in yourself as well. Because
Yeah.
at the start, you're on your own. When you're in the ring, you're on your own. Nobody can throw punches for you or anything like that. So you've got to want it that much to be able to do it every single day, everything you've got to do to get there. In the fight, it's just, it's who performs, but everything before that comes into it. You know, that's when you're going on the 5 a.m. runs or the late night, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
That's
what
when you
comes
wake
into
up.
it.
Oh.
That's exactly it. When the alarm's going off like early,
Yeah.
when you're having to run, or you're running late at night, or if you can't be bothered to go for a run.
That's it. That's what's
what it
proving
all comes down
how
to.
much you really want it. Then, do you know what I mean?
It's all before then. But I honestly do believe that I will be on those cards.
$1,000,000% she will.
100% I will
And
be.
sooner rather than later. Like I said, everything just, she's got obviously stepping stones that she has to do first couple of fights,
Exactly
and
that.
then next year she'll be thereabouts, mate. Do you know what I mean? It won't be too long.
It won't be long, because the thing is I give it like everything to it. People that know me know how hard I train. Obviously, people that don't really know you, they don't know as much. But I know for it, it's not even just about how hard you train. It's I'll do anything to get there. So I will get there, because
She's a little
sacrifice
brawler,
too much.
mate. Don't worry. She can
like
dig
to fight.
deep. She can dig deep if she
100%.
wants to dig deep. She can box if she wants to box. So she mix it with the best. She's got all the tools in her arsenal to do what she needs to do. Do you know what I mean?
That's
So
it.
yeah.
No, that's it.
So obviously you've got some big fights coming up in not too long now. Got Fanders feeds Terry Harper. She's defending her title. And you've got Rachel Ball versus Bridges as well coming over here to fight. What fight are you looking forward to most out of those two?
Do you know what? I really like both of them. Terry Harper, I know Terry. I think she's going to smash it, to be honest. She's a really nice girl. And then, I reckon Ball's going to do it as well. But we'll see. The thing is they're all so 50-50. Like, you just don't know,
this
do
is
you?
the thing,
Like,
innit? You
I don't know.
You say it like, obviously the one that on paper you think, obviously, but like it's just, as you see of late, this is why boxing's so exciting sport, because you just don't know, and that's why
it.
you can make predictions all you want, but it's
You
not
never
like
know, do
football.
you?
Do you know what I mean? Like football, you might have one little prediction here and there. Do you know what I mean? Why it's so hard to win an accumulator? But with boxing, it's so hard. Do you know what I mean?
One
That's
punch
why.
as well.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. One punch, it hits you. Like
Ends
you've
the
got to be
game,
so
innit?
switched on for the whole game, in you, because obviously it takes 1 second to switch off, or you go on the attack and you get caught. That's it. Lights out. So
That's it.
as
You
we've
can
seen so many
dominate.
times.
You can dominate for however many rounds. Do you know what I mean? You can look the top dog, and then as soon as you get a little bit tired, you might drop your hands a little bit, or you might get a bit too comfortable in there, and you might start getting a bit flashy. You drop your hands and you get chin. That's it.
Yeah, we've seen it in recent weeks. So,
Ends.
So
The end, innit?
yeah, so you have seen it in
You
recent
know.
weeks that it can happen. So
100%.
you
So it's
switched
so
on for
50-50.
the whole 12 rounds if need be.
That's it. Yeah, you do need to be. That's why they always say you get. And then obviously them later rounds is when people get dangerous, because obviously you switch off, you could dominate the whole
Reckless.
round, but then you're tired, then you put so much into them first rounds. We've seen it so many times. And then obviously the last 2 rounds or whatever, they get caught and they just put all that into that. And that's boxing for you. It's a brutal sport. Do you know what I mean? You can just
Dog eat dog.
in a blink of an eye, it can just all be taken away from you.
That's very true. That's very true. Laura, I wanted to ask you, what is your short-term and long-term goals?
Short term, I'm only looking for this fight first of all. I want to win this fight, which that's what we're aiming for. Long term, I want to be a world champion, and I'll do anything to get there.
That's it.
So that's it.
That's
yeah.
the answer I wanted to hear.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal
Obviously,
for
I
any
want to
boxer.
win as many titles and this and that, but I want to become a world champion. That's my goal.
I think that's every boxer's dream, whether it's female or male. Do you know what I mean, it's good. Like I said, she believes in herself, and it's good. I think she will go all the way. She's got all the tools to get there. So, and I'll be backing her all the way anyway. So
Yeah, we back each other well.
that's it. We know, girl.